Rich man throws coins at poor waitress. His smile dies when she says one name. The cafe on Lexington Avenue was the kind of place that had existed in New York for decades without ever needing to change. Worn wooden floors, mismatched chairs, handwritten menus on a chalkboard behind the counter, and the kind of coffee that tasted like it was made by someone who actually cared. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? It was not a place for billionaires. It was a place for teachers and nurses and graduate students and retired postal workers who had been coming every Saturday morning for 20 years. It was, in every sense of the word, a real place, which was precisely why Vincent Corso looked so out of place in it. He was 54, thick-necked, self-satisfied, the kind of man who had made his money in real estate by understanding one simple principle, that people with less power than him could always be made to feel it. He had arrived that morning in a black car, walked in without holding the door for the woman behind him, sat down at the best table without waiting to be seated, and immediately began looking around with the expression of a man conducting an inspection. He had already decided to fail. He was in the neighborhood because he was buying 3 buildings on the block. He had stepped into the cafe. He told his associate loudly, just to see what kind of place. It was before the renovations turned it into something worth visiting. He said this loud enough for the staff to hear. He said it with a smile. The waitress who came to his table was named Dina Okafor. She was 31, Nigerian-American, the daughter of a former professor, and she had been working at this cafe for 2 years, while building her own small catering business on the side. She was not a woman with grand connections or visible power. She wore a plain blue apron, kept her hair in a neat bun, and greeted every customer with the same unhurried warmth regardless of how they arrived. She greeted Vincent Corso the same way. He did not deserve it. He ordered without looking at her, changed his order twice, complained that the coffee took too long, and when Dina set the cup down gently in front of him, he looked at it, looked at her, and said, loud enough again, always loud enough, you people really don't understand the concept of service. Do you? His associate looked down at the table. 2 nearby customers went still. Dina did not respond. She simply asked with the same steady voice if there was anything else he needed. There was. When the bill came, $4.50 for a coffee he had barely touched. Vincent Corso reached into his jacket pocket, pulled out a handful of coins, and dropped them onto the table from a height. Some rolled onto the floor. He watched them fall with that smile, the particular smile of a man who believes humiliation is a kind of entertainment, that small cruelties are a privilege of success. Keep the change, he said. Buy yourself something useful. Then he leaned back and waited for her to bend down and pick them up. Dina looked at the coins on the floor. She looked at the ones on the table. Then she looked at Vincent Corso with an expression that was not anger, not hurt, not embarrassment. It was something quieter and more permanent than any of those things. She said one name, quietly, almost conversationally. She said, I'll let my landlord know you came in. His name is James Okafor. He owns the building you're trying to buy on 44th, and the one next to it. The smile did not fade. It stopped. There is a difference. Fading takes time. This was instantaneous, a total and complete cessation, as though someone had reached into his face and switched something off. James Okafor was not a man Vincent Corso had expected to encounter in this conversation. James Okafor was, in fact, the single most important signature on the most important deal Vincent had been trying to close for 11 months. He was the kind of man who did not negotiate twice and did not do business with people whose character he found lacking. He was also, as the entire city's real estate community knew, a man of deep and unshakable principle. He was also Dina's father. Vincent Corso left 4 minutes later without finishing his coffee. He did not pick up the coins. Dina did not pick them up either. A young busboy swept them into the trash without a second thought, which felt, to everyone watching, like exactly the right ending. The deal on 44th Street fell through the following week. No explanation was given, none was needed, and Vincent Corso spent a long time afterward thinking about a $4 cup of coffee and the name he had never thought to ask before opening his mouth. If this story gave you chills, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Kindness True Stories, because every story, here is a reminder that respect costs nothing, but disrespect can cost you everything.